Amsterdam before, and what are your perceptions of the city?
We've each been here one time before, not together. But neither of us. I came here 8 years ago. You came here
Yeah, like
10 years ago. Yeah. And so this is only our second time here.
Yeah.
It's really
And,
nice. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful city, but I do think maybe drugs should be legal. Because I was born with really small bronchial tubes, so I can't smoke anything, so I've never had a problem. I've been high like 3 times my entire life. So then I got out here to Amsterdam, well, no, you can eat it in cake here. And I was like, well, I guess if it's an opportunity to get high. So I ate it, space cake, and was like, I don't feel anything, and I ate another one. And this was 2 days ago, and as I'm talking to you right now, I am super high.
You think drugs should be illegal?
Yeah, I think they should be illegal.
Yeah. You think, oh, work saying you go to Amsterdam, you get too fucked up. You're like, drugs should be illegal.
We met in college and started doing shorts, not just animation, but all kinds of stuff, just comedy stuff on film. And we just kept making a whole bunch of stupid crap. And then we were out in LA, just, sleeping on friends' floors for, years, trying to get something going. And I think it's because, we didn't stick with one thing. We tried all kinds of stuff. And South Park was just one of them. And South Park was, it wasn't even the one that we thought was going to catch on at all. It was just another little thing we were doing on the side. And it's the one that kind of exploded.
Which voices do you gentlemen do, if any, in South Park?
All of them, basically.
We do basically all of them except for the women voices.
And even those we do it because that's part of why we can do a show. We start an episode on Thursday and it airs the next Wednesday. Even in terms of writing it and everything, because we can, we can be sitting there watching the show on Sunday night and going, oh, that's not that great, let's change it, totally rewrite the scene, and then we just run in and we do the voices, So it's, at least since I do Cartman and Stan, and he does Kenny and Kyle, so when the boys are talking, we're just doing it real time. It's like, if a scene is 2 minutes long, it takes us about 2 minutes to record.
What are your feelings about Michael Moore now that, it's gone a bit weird?
It's got a bit less
Weird.
I think it's always been that weird. I appeared in that film because I'm from Littleton, and I thought, well, he's making a movie about the Columbine massacre, and I can talk about Littleton, I know things about Littleton, and but it was it was kind of like he did this and he didn't misrepresent me in the movie, he put in there what I said, and then but he did this kind of insidious thing where he did this cartoon that's like a history of America. It's really, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's like an awful, I think it's awful, the cartoon. I think it's an awful message. I think it's just really badly, basically someone who read Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States and just made a dumb little cartoon of it in a South Park form. And a lot of people to this day, and a lot of reporters even, think that we did that cartoon.
Yeah.
And he put it kind of close to my interview, and I don't think that was accidental.
Yeah.
And then so all of a sudden, we were pulled in a way into that documentary in a way that we didn't want to be pulled, especially Trey, who had nothing to do with it, was all of a sudden implicated in a movie that he basically disagreed with. And although I disagreed with a lot of the movie, I agreed to be a peer in it, and he didn't misrepresent me. So, it's just like when people talk about Michael Moore creating truth where there isn't any, using cuts to do it, we've been personally victimized by that. So, we know how it can be.
Yeah.
Being from LA and doing a show out of LA, the fact that we aren't actively liberal, and the fact that we aren't doing liberal messages means we must be conservative. The fact that we don't have a liberal agenda is like, everyone's like, whoa, wait a minute, that wasn't a totally liberal message. They must be conservatives. But we can't say they're conservative because that's not, so they must be South Park conservative, whatever it was. But it's just like, we do our little show, and we try not to have an agenda, and we try to make a piece of sculpture to show to everyone and go, here, this is what this all looks like to us, but not here's what you should think, and here's what side we're on, and here's, you know what I mean? And sometimes we succeed at that, and sometimes we don't. And sometimes we do get too political. We don't like when we do. We're like, I was too preachy that episode, and it happens sometimes where we actually get down on ourselves because we got too preachy, and we always swear we wouldn't do that, you know what I mean? So,
I was going to ask, what's your favorite episode?
There's a few of them, but they're always the ones, we just did it's funny, Comedy Central has asked us to do a 10 best DVD, our 10 favorite episodes. And I think there's 2 or 3 political ones, even slightly political ones on there. Most of our favorite episodes are the ones where the kids find a porno tape. Or just, but very, kids-oriented stories that
We
don't
love when we
get
nail,
out
not
of
that,
it.
because it's like, vulgarity's fun and, political stuff is fun, but we really are proud of ourselves when it's like, yeah, that's what it was like to be in 3rd grade, and that's what kids are like. And like,
And we hit it sometimes.
yeah.
But
And so almost all of my favorite episodes are, there's a character, Cartman, and the character Butters. And to me, those 2 characters, anytime that they're in a show that focuses around the 2 of them, I always love that episode.
What advice would you give to young people hoping to get into the industry? Can you give some really bad advice?
yeah, I would like to say just don't.
Yeah. I'll give really bad advice. I'll give really bad advice. Just keep going for your dream, no matter what it takes. No matter how old you get, even if you get to be in your 40s and it hasn't happened, just still try going for that dream.
We've been wanting to do that in South Park for ages, a don't follow your dreams show.
We both had, by the way, I remember clearly, mine was on my 28th birthday. I'd sworn to my entire family and to me that if I hadn't relatively made it in Hollywood to some degree in the entertainment business by the time I was 28, on my 20th birthday, I would switch and do, I had learned, my double major was Japanese, so I would go teach English in Japan or something very practical. And I had told everyone that, and Dad was still floating me a little bit of money now and then in my early 20s, but he always said, okay, you got till you're 28, And it was,
how old were you?
I was 27 when South Park premiered. So it just made it.
We have a couple of friends in LA who are like 40 years old and waiting tables and are relatively good actors, but it's like they want to make it as actors, and sometimes we're like, dude, just give up on your dream. This is my dream, like, dude.
They always say to us, well, it happened for you guys, it can happen for me. We're like, no, it's not gonna.
Yeah, it's just rock and roll too.
What inspired Officer Bar Brady saying that Atlas Shrugged was the worst piece of crap he ever read, made him never want to read again?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's like first season, isn't
I
it?
think because I had to read Atlas Shrugged in high school. That was the worst piece of crap I ever read.
How are you staying in tune with what's happening in the world? Are they either through newspapers or online or friends or movies, all this?
I'll tell you, honestly, it gets harder just because it is our worlds have so completely changed. I mean, I think on one hand, we were way more in tune 10 years ago when we weren't filthy rich. You know what I mean? But now, it really is kind of funny because what we can joke about to each other the most is oh, can you believe they called that first class on that airline? And stuff like that. It's just oh, did we just say that? And it's funny because
to show out of that.
And our whole life now is about editing rooms and edit bays and all of this stuff. And it's we can make tons of jokes about the Avid editing system, but no one will get them. So it's kind of I mean, we. But on the other hand, we still love all the things we loved before. We still basically drink beer and watch football, and we're still hopefully kind of the same guys